The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the WZWA Network, and welcome to my review show here of NXT New Year's Evil 2023 from January 10th, 2023 from the Performance Center there in Orlando, Florida. I'm Karlifornia, your host, as usual, your host with the most on the West Coast. And let's just get through this shit. Let's just get through it. So, yeah, this show was what it was, and I'll get into it. Chase U opens the show, so Andre Chase hyping up the show. I thought that Thea chick did great in this segment, but Andre Chase feels like he's just garnished these days on this show. They haven't given him a solid angle as far as I'm concerned for quite some time. All it seems, but then again, this is coming from the guy that does not watch the weekly product because I don't have the time to. But every time I've tuned into these, special events, I feel like Andre Chase is just doing the same thing every time. I'm going to be a little bit more harsh on NXT in this review, so I do apologize to any NXT fans out there, but I think they could be doing better with this product. Up next, Tony D'Angelo. Hey, T, how you fucking doing, Tom? How you fucking doing, Tom? He's with Stacks, taking on Dijack. Every time I tune into NXT, someone else has shown up. Some other new guy has debuted or new lady has debuted, and I'm like, man, so much happens between these big events for NXT. So, I was like, who the hell is Dijack? I thought Dijack looked like Berlin during his entrance, if you remember Berlin from WCW, aka Alex Wright. So, I like the presentation. I really think at this stage it's time for, Tony D'Angelo, hey, Theo, you fucking do Tom. I think Tony needs to win a belt at some point. I was surprised at him copying the loss here, but, they're obviously pushing this new guy. Wesley, not Wesley, Wesley. I still don't like the name because Wesley's a name and Wesley is just, I don't know. I don't like it. But anyway, he's got a very bland character as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what it is with WWE, but it just seems like every time there's a babyface champion, and I'm going to talk about this with Roxanne as well, Roxanne Perez as well. Why do the babyface champions always have to be so bland and boring? And oh God, like no one wants to hang out. Like I want to have a beer with the heels. I want to hang out with the heels. They seem fun. Like no wonder people cheer for heels so often these days because you make babyfaces so boring. Like, have we forgotten the formula that works? Stone Cold, beating up his boss, drinking beer, flipping the bird, and no one else being allowed to do the flipping of the bird either. It's like AEW, where everyone does the rude finger like they're being edgy. Anyway, I'm getting way off topic here, but, come on, give me some baby faces with some edge to them, something exciting, something different to them, instead of just the same old fucking potato soup, boring baby face. Like, God, they make me sick. I really love Stacks sacrificing himself for, hey, T, hey, fucking do Tom. When Dijack whipped Tony towards the barricade, Stacks jumped into the way and copped it sweet against the barricade. I thought that was cool. Nice spot. I think Dijack, if he's going to hit a sit-down choke slam like that, because that looked fucking awesome. If he's going to hit a sit-down choke slam, that's a finish. That's a finish. Someone tell Dijack that that's a finishing move. A sit-down choke slam, boom. Like he nailed it. It looked great. And then there was a story-filled finish there with Stacks wanting to help Tony get the win. Which ended up costing Tony. And Dijack won with a running kick to the head. And I was like, sit down choke slam, bro. Sit down choke slam. Like, come on. But a good opening match to the show. Toxic Attraction are backstage with an interview there with Mackenzie Mitchell. I guess, there's not really much to say here. They were talking about wanting to win the Women's Battle Royal later on. But the only note I wrote was, it's such bullshit Mandy Rose isn't there. Don't get me fucking started, okay? You know what? I'm going to get started. How about this? This is like the way that I would have handled the situation, considering that you'd had Mandy as the NXT Women's Champion for I don't know how many days, but a long time. It would have made sense to me to maybe, I don't know, pull Mandy aside and say, hey, Mandy, we kind of feel like we don't want you to have, this platform where you show off your naked body to people. We have a, I don't know if they have a policy against OnlyFans or whatever these things are, these platforms that people use to make some money on the side. I don't know what the policy is, the protocol, but how about you just have a chat with her and say, we'd prefer, maybe you don't do that, and maybe just bump up her pay a little bit to make up for it. Like, she worked her butt off for that whole time in NXT, and just like that, she's gone. How about you just ask her, hey, can you not do that? We'll bump your pay up a little bit to make up for it. Not just get rid of her. I hope she comes back. If it were me, I'd bring her back by the Royal Rumble or something like that. Or I'd put Toxic Attraction, the tag team of GG and JC, on the main roster and have them under the learning tree of someone else there. And then when Mandy returns, she goes after the woman who's now leading Toxic Attraction. And then GG and JC side with Mandy, kick the other woman out the group. And there you go. You got an angle. You got an angle straight up. I don't know, whatever. But I'm very disappointed in the WWE's decision there, because Mandy was on a hell of a run. And Toxic Attraction were fantastic. What a great group of ladies there. Anyway, let's move forward. Jinder and Sanger. So Sanger, the former Veer Mahan, so he has a situation with the Creed brothers. Jinder Mahal arrives now in NXT. He gets chanted for, and the Creeds get laid out. One of the Creeds gets choke slammed onto the steel stairs, which was pretty sick. So Jinder is in NXT now, and that's cool. Sanger is his partner, and I think somebody do something with Jinder Mahal, former WWE champion. You give him that angle, and then you don't do anything with him afterward. Like, what's the big deal? Just write something for him. This is what I don't get, because I've done booking. I've written wrestling, okay? Takes like 20 minutes to think of like 6 months worth of story for someone. It doesn't take long. It's not hard. Like, you should have a list of people. Who haven't we done anything with for a while? Let's think of something for them. Spend 20 minutes on each person, figure something out, figure out a trajectory. Anyway, New Day backstage with Pretty Deadly. So Pretty Deadly now, okay, the tag team Pretty Deadly, the former NXT tag team champions, they're coming out and they're going to have a tag team gauntlet. I did not understand. So they picked their first team, right? They picked their first team. I did not understand this whatsoever. Someone out there, please, if you watch this show, can you please explain this for me if I'm so stupid that I completely missed it? They took on a team called, the Titantron had the Rockers. It said the Rockers. It was the Rockers theme song, and it was two random guys coming out and I guess doing the Rockers dance moves or whatever, the entrance. And I was just like, I don't understand what's going on here. Why are you doing this? Why? Because they weren't dressed like the Rockers. So if you dress them like the Rockers, okay. Like that makes sense. But they were two guys in completely different outfits. I was just like, what the fuck is this? What is this? You couldn't have thought of anything else, whatever. Like, you should just got two really small local indie guys or something like that. I didn't get it. Anyway, they got the quick win over them. Out comes the New Day. They happen to have 2 tag teams for Pretty Deadly, and I just write, this is weak writing. This took 2 seconds to think of. No, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. 15 seconds to think of the angle for the show for this. Have the New Day come out like what? They're not in charge, but they have 2 tag teams that they've organized to work with Pretty Deadly. Like, make it make sense. What would it be like in real life? What would it be like? This wouldn't happen. Anyway, it's just really piss weak. Like, I get annoyed because I know I can do a better job. I know I can do a better job than this. I hate when I see something lazily put together. So Edris Onofe and and Malik Blade, they're a new tag team. They've been around a little bit now, but they are the next opponents. Some great dives to the outside from both of them. And then picture-in-picture ruins everything just as I start to get into the match. Inofi, great spine busters. I like it. Thank God Vengeance Day is going to be at a proper arena in a different place. I am so done with the Performance Center. I'm done. I thought Pretty Deadly had actually done well in this match, and usually they annoy me. I thought Malik Blade's frog splash was insane in the membrane. Insane in the brain. From so far away across the ring. Very cool. But Pretty Deadly did get the win, and I did like the finish. And who's next? Briggs and Jensen were supposed to be next, but they were attacked backstage before coming out. And here comes Gallus, the tag team Gallus. I haven't seen them since Worlds Collide. Me personally, I haven't seen them since then. I think they're great. And they got the win, dominant, and they looked good. But yeah, I don't know. It was just a bit strange, this whole thing, because the New Day, they bring out a tag team to face them, right? After clearly Pretty Deadly were going to try and get an easy win. They bring out a tag team. Pretty Deadly beat them. Then the second team that they organized themselves, I hope they got clearance for it, get attacked by another team, and then they just enter the match. Like, maybe I'm nitpicking too much, but I just think this is a little messy and a little lazy. By the way, I think New Year's Evil needs to be closer to New Year's Eve. You know, it was the 10th of January. It's like wishing someone happy birthday like 2 weeks after their birthday. Like, I don't know. Carmelo Hayes was in a diner talking about what was he talking about? He's talking about what's his name? How can I not remember his name? Apollo Crews. Fucking hell, man. He's talking about Apollo Crews, and Carmelo once again talking about how he's the past, present, and future. How are you the past, Carmelo? You've been around for a cup of coffee, mate. We're ready for a New Year's countdown. And Tiffany Stratton has made her return. Yes. I'm a fan. I like her character. She's a little prissy bitch. Booker cracking a fat one over Tiffany was also funny. I popped for her comment saying every single woman backstage is sweating like a disgusting pig. That was fantastic. But yeah, I like the character because you want to see her get a comeuppance. I really like the character, and she's a little bit of a hottie toddy, if I will say so myself. Okay, again, man, this shit fucking drives me insane. They're in the parking lot, right? Caden and Katana, is that their names now? The women's tag team champions. Anyway, they're walking through the parking lot towards the backstage area, towards the entrance to the building. We're halfway through the show here. They're walking through the parking lot with their championship belt on their shoulders, talking to one another or whatever. And I'm like, where were you coming from? What are you doing walking in the parking lot? Get in the building. You should have already been there. Why are you walking around with your titles? I hate it. I hate seeing the wrestlers in NXT always walking around with their title belt like an absolute mark. It's not, people don't do stuff like this. Can you think about situations that are more realistic? You used to do it all the time back in the day. People just randomly walking down a fucking dark car parking lot, you know, in the middle of the show, in the middle of the night. It's dumb. Anyway, let's move forward. Randomly, I guess they wanted the women's battle royal to end the show. But I was surprised that Grayson Waller was taking on Bron Breakker for the NXT Championship at this stage of the show. And I really thought, you know, that Grayson Waller was likely going to win the championship off Bron Breakker. So maybe it happened in the rematch because this is what went down. I really think Grayson should have won a title by now. I actually really think he should have been the North American champion at some stage, but whatever. I think Booker T is fantastic on commentary. So I thought that this was accidental, but at one stage of the match, Grayson or Bron, whatever, get thrown into the corner, and the second turnbuckle pops off the ring post, and Vic Joseph nearly said shit. But this had at first I thought this was wasn't a part of the show. So because they went to advert break and they fixed the rope during the advert break. Another concern I have is what are they going to do about Bron Breakker? Like that, it's been a while now, you know, and I'm not the kind of person that makes a big deal out of, you know, I like long title reigns, but again, the babyface champion, it gets a little bit stale after a while. I'm all about heel champions. So I'm just concerned that it's going to get to a point where people are going to get sick of Bron Breakker because what they're doing with him is essentially kind of like the John Cena Roman Reigns thing. You know what I mean? When they were baby faces and people really wanted them to be a heel. I feel like he's slowly getting to that point now in NXT. But I actually thought Grayson Waller was a little off in this match. And I wasn't feeling the chemistry between the two of them. It's something just wasn't clicking between these two. And I think this is why 30 house show matches before a big pay-per-view style match really helps make a match tight and amazing. Because if you have two wrestlers touch 30 times, 25 times, 15 times, by the time you get to that pay-per-view match or that big time match on one of these specials, they've already worked the match so many times, they fine-tuned everything, and then in front of the actual, you know, audience sitting at home, you get the best version of that match. I think that's a big problem with AEW. I think it's a big problem with things like NXT, is that, you know, back in the day, say Luger is working with Razor Ramon for the Intercontinental title in your house or whatever, you know, that whole month they're on the road working against one another every single night. By the time they get to the pay-per-view, the match is sweet because they've already worked the match over and over and over again. That's something that's really missing from wrestling today. You know, you expect these matches to be amazing out the gate, but, you know, sometimes you don't have that instant chemistry. Sometimes you need to work on it. So I could feel that Grayson was going to win the title here. The rope breaks again, but then I realized it was set up because Grayson seemed to happily fall out. And then the referee started counting him out instead of checking on him to see if he actually landed on his head. So Grayson got counted out. I thought it was weird. I thought it was a weird finish, but we got an explanation later. So Sexy McKenzie backstage with Roxanne Perez. I'm sorry. I really like her. I really think she's an awesome performer. She's so talented and so good already at, I think isn't she like 20 or 21? She's already really good at what she does in the ring. So, you know, props to her. But again, she's another potato soup babyface. I just feel like all their babyface champions are so boring and there's no depth to them. There's no depth to the character. There's nothing interesting about these characters. They're just nice people who won a title. Oh, I can't stand it. It's like one of my massive pet peeves in wrestling is, the goody two shoes baby face. Nice little simple story being presented here with Drew Gulak, with this big guy, Hank Walker, and Charlie Dempsey. It's a very simple story. And at least there's something to it, other than some of the other angles that I've seen on this show that took people 15 seconds to think of. Like get get together and spend a few hours and really just iron out things and make things a little bit more interesting. Because as I was watching this show, I was like, man, why do I still review this? Why do I still review NXT? Sometimes the matches are great. Sometimes the shows are great. But sometimes, like this show like this, it did not feel special whatsoever. Backstage, Axiom was talking with Apollo Crews. They're going to become a team or something. I just thought Axiom looked like an idiot. Because you see someone with a mask, you expect they're a foreign person. They're a foreigner. They're from Japan or Mexico or whatever. And just him with this stupid mask on his head, speaking English. Like, I don't know. He had like a English accent or whatever, Irish. I don't know. I can't remember what he sounded like, but he sounded like he was from, the United Kingdom. I just thought it looked dumb. I'm not big on Caucasians wearing masks. I'm not. It just seems like that's more for where it's tradition, Mexico, Japan. The only people that I give, a bit of a pass to when it comes to the mask is Kane and Blitzkrieg from WCW and Mankind, Vader. That's fine. But anyway, let's just get on with this. There's 3 matches left for me to cover. Hank Walker. This is what happens when you don't watch shit for months. He's taken on Charlie Dempsey. And I just kept thinking, okay, Hank wants to wrestle. Hank wants to go onto the learning tree of Drew Gulak. Why doesn't Hank have gear yet then? Like maybe the first couple times on TV, okay, he doesn't have any gear yet because he's learning how to. Like surely between then and this show, the guy would have gone to the shop or got a seamstress backstage to make him some gear. I hate when people are wrestling in street clothes like this. It just doesn't make sense. Unless they were just booked into a match on a whim like that. This guy's had like weeks to prepare and get himself some gear. It's just, again, I'm just always thinking of things like, if this were real, how would you go about it? You have somebody like Zion Quinn on the roster and they have absolutely nothing for him. I haven't seen him do anything since his angle with Santos Escobar and Electra Lopez. So we find out HBK is going to have something to say later on. This match really, like, I kind of zoned out. It wasn't bad. I started popping a little bit for Hank Walker. I don't know why, but he just doesn't look like he's a wrestler. He's a big guy, but and he ends up being made to tap out by Charlie Dempsey. And I was just like, that felt like a waste of time, really. And I don't mean to be negative like that. Like, the match wasn't bad. It was just like, just didn't seem like there was a whole lot to it. And that's when I thought to myself, this doesn't feel like a special show. This feels like a normal episode of NXT. Sorry about that. I just had to quickly cough up a lung. Anyway, moving forward, backstage. Sol Ruka, never heard of her. This is what happens. You go so long without watching it, and all these people have debuted. I don't know where other people have gone. I don't know if they brought up a lot of people to the main roster or something, but she's backstage with Alba Fire, and it's something about a match that they were supposed to have that didn't happen. It was a bit weird. Then we find out about NXT Anonymous. And I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just burned out on wrestling. It's like a new version of GTV. And it's someone who's clearly stalking a lot of people backstage. What happened to JD McDonough and stuff? They got a lot of people on that roster, and it just seems, this seems like a weird show. You've got so many people that I haven't really heard of or seen before. But then you've got like guys that were in like the main event of the last show or in the big matches in the last show, not even on the card or anything. Anyway, we finally get to Jinder Mahal against Julius Creed. I really wanted Jinder to get the win here. The crowd were chanting for Jinder. And then I started thinking to myself, okay, the Diamond Mine. Has Roderick Strong, has he left yet? Is he still in the company? Is this group still together? It just feels like, I don't know, maybe I needed to be watching the weekly show to know what's going on. But I wasn't really into this match. I know that they were working hard. I just thought to myself, the next NXT show better be better. It better be better. Sangha gets involved, which was, I like that. And then the Cobra Clutch Slam. It was over. Jinder Mahal gets the win. So I'm guessing Jinder and Sangha will be feuding with the Creed brothers going forward, which, you know, I'm sure that tag team match will be good down the line. Brooks and Jensen backstage, being consoled, I suppose. And it's time for the main event of the evening. It's a 20-woman battle royal. The winner will get a shot at the NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez at Vengeance Day next month. Cora Jade was out first, and I was like, I hope we get what we got last time. Hungry tights hungry bum eating her tights. But she wasn't even in there very long enough for me to cop a gander, I suppose you could say. Look, whatever. I like hot people. I like hot women. So get over it. And I think Cora Jade's really hot. Yeah, I thought it was strange that Zoe Stark got the final entrance and not Toxic Attraction. Don't know about that. Cora and Zoe Stark were the only people that got entrances. It's not a big deal, but whatever. So Cora Jade was eliminated first, and I was like, bullshit. But hopefully Cora will, because I think she should win the belt. I think she should win the belt at Stand and Deliver over Roxanne. I think they should revisit that feud and have Cora be the one to end that title reign. And then they can go back and forth for a while because, you know, they work well together. So what was that? What was that new chick's name? Horrible memory, hey. Like Sol Rua or something like that. Sorry. Sol Ruka, sorry. She was the one that did like the Kofi Kingston. She was walking along her hands and you know, on the outside of the ring to avoid being eliminated. I thought that was very specky. And yeah, I did write also, every time I tune into NXT, I feel like I don't know what's going on. There was so many women in this match I didn't recognize. I guess there's a lot of, you know, ladies on the roster that haven't been featured too much that were in this match. Wendy Chu is still there. I think she's awesome. But I hate her character so much. Like, she gets eliminated. What do you know? Because you know how she wears a onesie and she's like, her character's like someone that likes to sleep a lot. She's got narcolepsy. What do you know? Her feet land on a pillow. Her feet landed on a pillow, and oh, how clever! What are the odds? What are the odds that that Wendy fucking Chu would land on a pillow with her feet not touching the ground because her feet were on the pillow? Get it? Do you get the reference? Because she likes to sleep, so there was a pillow. And then fucking Elektra Lopez just fucking yanked it up. Shit. Suck shit. Oh, like, thank you, Elektra. She just yanked that pillow from under Wendy, and Wendy hit the pavement. It was sweet. Nothing against her. She's you know, a good wrestler, but the character drives me insane, dude. I thought Stark was going to win, and then she was eliminated moments after I wrote that. I thought Ruka was impressive. And then I don't know who it was Alba Fire, Toxic Attraction, and Kyria. I don't know. I didn't know this fourth lady that was in the final four. She got screwed over by Cora Jade, which was awesome. I guess Alba got eliminated very soon, and it was down to Gigi Dolan and JC Jane. So I was very excited to see what would happen here, hoping that they wouldn't, split this team up or anything like that. So JC turns on Gigi, and then they're both on the turnbuckle, punching back and forth. I guess they end up hitting each other at the same time. They both fell off. They both landed at the exact same time, so they decided it was a draw. And at Vengeance Day now, Roxanne Perez will have to take on Gigi and JC in, I guess, a triple threat match. So I thought that was interesting. It'll be really cool to see how these two go in the main event spot for the ladies there in NXT. Very exciting stuff on that behalf because I'm a fan of Toxic Attraction. But yeah, I really hope Mandy comes back soon. I think that trio, they deserve. It's like the Hurt Business when Vince decided to split that up too early. It's like it wasn't their time yet. Hopefully that's coming back. Hopefully Toxic Attraction get to have their run end the right way as well. So we're getting very close here. HBK backstage with Bron Breakker and Grayson Waller, and he books a steel cage match at Vengeance Day between the two of them. So that should be interesting. I think Vengeance Day will be better than this show because it seems like they're going to be putting more of an effort in, considering it's in a different arena than the goddamn, Performance Center. It's going to become a real PLE. Just say pay-per-view. I don't care if it's not on pay-per-view anymore. Stop saying I hate PLE. Anyway, look, there we go. There we have it, everyone. My review show here of NXT New Year's Evil. Ah, God, I've got to give it a rating, don't I? I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Just middle of the ground, really. I found it a little bit boring, and it made me question why I do the reviews of NXT. But I still think it's important to do it, because this year I really want to up the reviews even more than usual, because we just did Wrestle Kingdom the other day. I'd like to maybe cover a Stardom show and see what that's all about. I'd like to maybe do some reviews of AAA or CMLL or, any other kind of big independent wrestling show that sounds interesting. Maybe some more GCW, maybe some more deathmatch tournaments. Anyone out there, if you want to make any suggestions of shows that you'd like to see us review here on the WZWA Network, then please let us know. We'll see if we can access that, So there we have it. My review show here of NXT New Year's Evil 2023. I'm Karlifornia. This is the WZWA Network, and we will see you down the street. Thank you.
Network, that's the way we play. Good God Almighty. Network, that's the way we play. Get puppies. Network, that's the way we play. Get.
The following announcement has been paid for by the WZWA Network.